There you are. Welcome to Zen Fits here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world, where everything fits, but nothing fits. That is the question. That's the title of this talk. What's your question? What is your question? Here I am at 86, and I still have a question. But it's been an evolving question. It's been a living question. You have to find that living question. So what was my living question? Well, I think it's basically, how can I serve? How can I be useful? How can I be, how can I fit? That's the question. I think that's a universal question. I think every one of you has that question in one form or another. How can I fit into the scheme of things? But I don't want to fit by being absorbed by the world, by disappearing in the world. No. I want to fit, but I want to be unique at the same time. I want to fit, but I want to be me. I want to fit, but I want to be separate. I want to belong, but I want to be separate. In other words, I want to belong and I don't want to belong at the same time. And that's impossible. That's incompatible. I won't say it's not impossible, but I'm saying it's incompatible. These two imperatives, I want to belong, I want to be me, are incompatible. It's like I want to be in the pool and outside of the pool at the same time. At the same time. I must be in the pool of life. I must fit. I must have a purpose. I must have meaning. But I must be me. I must be separate. I must be unique. I must be somebody. So I want to be nobody and I want to be somebody. You see, that's the question. You've got a servant, for instance, like there's the coronation going on. And so you look at the English monarchy and all that, you have the foreground, the people who are somebody. You have the counts and the lords and ladies, and everybody's somebody. Everybody has a portrait on the wall, a unique character. Everybody's somebody. But then you also have the servants, who stand behind the somebodies, watching for any need or anything that the somebodies need. They need a napkin, they need some water, they need the chair pulled back, and then they go back to the side. They are the servant. They disappear. You don't see them. There's no portrait of them on the wall. They serve. They're here to disappear into the background. They're here to serve and be nobody. They're here, the servant is here to serve the somebodies. So how can I serve? You see, that's, Christ, the imperative of Jesus, be a servant. Be humble. The humble servant is nobody. You don't even notice them. Oh, and maybe but their service is to disappear. Their service is to disappear, you see. So we want to serve. We want to disappear. We want to be the servant. Whether it's a corporation or whether it's a school system or whether it's life itself, you see, the commandment to be a servant is the commandment to disappear, to dissolve into that which you serve. But at the same time, the commandment is to be unique, to exist, to be somebody, to be different. So we have two commandments in this question, to be the same and to be different. And we must obey both. That is the dilemma, you see. How can I obey or do both? And you can't do, most of us do, I'll be a servant here and I'll be unique here. So we make a bargain. We do this here and we do that there. So it's consecutive. Here I'm a servant. Here I'm the boss. Here I'm unique, you see. And so we find these compromises. But that really doesn't answer the question that drives us, because the imperative, an imperative commandment, means that you have to do it. You can't hide. You can't not do it. You can't be a hypocrite and pretend you're doing it, you see. So most of us find some hypocritical solution where we can have our cake and eat it too. So we kind of like create a strategy, a method, a means, a compromise, a bargain, you see. So we can do both at the same time. But the bargain is never satisfactory. The bargain does not end the angst, the contradiction, the rub, the irritation, the dissatisfaction of my life, you see, this nagging feeling that something doesn't fit. That's why I keep talking about Zen fits. A Zen fit is a paradox, because Zen fits means you're having a fit because nothing fits, or Zen fits, everything fits. So nothing fits, everything fits is the same fit, you see. It's ambiguous. So that's kind of like the question is driving us to find that Zen fit where I don't fit and I fit at the same time. And it's okay, I found, and this solution is creative. This is a creative solution. And creative means that it's constantly discovering itself. So you're constantly, the only way out of this dilemma, how do I fit, I don't fit, I fit, I don't, I fit, how do I get out of that, is to come to let's go to a fairy tale. The cow jumps over the moon. The moon is crescent, and the moon is a metaphor for the horns of dilemma. Boom, boom, I fit, I don't fit, and the cow jumps over it. The cow bypasses the dilemma. And the cow is a metaphor for life. The question is, we get stuck in the dilemma. We get stuck in the ambiguity. I fit, but I don't fit. I don't fit, I fit. Wow. I try to become unique in a job and they fire me. I try to have a marriage where I belong and serve the marriage, but I want to be me and I get divorced. I can't be me and be a servant at the same time because they're incompatible viewpoints or drives, you see. So I have to find the one that is two. And you can't find it because it's not something. It's creative. You have to come to the end of this sidewalk. You have to come to the point where your question saturates you. You have to follow this question, this nagging feeling in your life to the point where it is consuming. And a lot of us reach that point. Then we may experience it as a nervous breakdown. Or it may form into some kind of addiction, or it may resolve in some kind of mental illness or something, where we finally solve the question by creating some kind of a pathology or something. But it's only just a way we have tried to live with the question of who am I, you see. So the way we have to break through the dilemma, not by winning one horn over the other, but by leaping over it to a new way of asking the question. And the new way, or I would say the Zen way of working with this question, is that there is no answer to the question. There is no way out of the horns of this dilemma. There's no way to be unique and belong at the same time, because they just don't become one. They're always separate. They're always rubbing. They're always this. The yin yang. This is, you could say, this is I want to be unique. I want to belong. But you see, each has the opposite in itself. So what happens is that these go around like two koi in a pond chasing each other, or a dog chasing its tail. Wah, 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 you see. And then what happens is that when this yin yang gets going, wah, wah, it's like a mic and an amplifier. Wah, 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 wah. Nervous breakdown, divorce, mass shooter. What is a mass shooter? But somebody whose contradiction is a mic and an amplifier, and it goes wah, 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 wah. And the only way out is death, destruction. Just blow everything up. Just kill everything and start over. Death, you see. That's one solution to the yin-yang. The other solution is creativity. Creativity. Here's another look at the yin-yang, the old hag, and the princess. I know I've shown this before, but if you haven't seen it before, can you see the hag? Here's her right eye and her nose. And the princess, this is her right chin and her little eyelash there. She's looking that way, and the hag is looking this way. What is this picture? Is it a hag? Or is it a princess? If you see the hag, that's one. If you see the princess, that's one. But what is the picture? It's two incompatible ones, the hag and the princess. Each stands alone, but they can't be separated. You can't separate the hag from the princess, because if you change the hag's face, you change the princess. If I take that little thing there, see, that's the mouth of the hag. It's the necklace of the princess. If I erase it, say, oh, I don't like that on the hag doesn't like it, it's her mouth. Or the princess, let's change your necklace, princess. Well, you take away the hag's mouth. So whatever you do to one, you do to the other, because they are one, yet they're two. They can't be separated, yet they're two. So that's the question. I want to be one. I want to be one. But yet, I'm two. I want to be a servant to the world, but at the same time, I'm separate from the world. So the more I serve, the more I'm separate. The more I'm separate, the more I serve, you see. They're incompatible. I keep trying to put them together. I keep trying to put the princess and the hag together. I keep trying to put ugly and beauty together. I keep trying to put bad and good together and make it one. But I can't. So it just drives through your life. You see, the question just drives your life into new forms of resolutions, but they never hold because they can't be held together. So this is the driving question that drives our life, and it's a beautiful question. It's a beautiful, Buddha said life is suffering. He might as well have said life is a contradiction. Life is a contradiction. Life is a question. So who are you? You're the question. You're not the answer. You're the question. So wherever you are, if you bring the question to that situation, you bring creativity to the situation. Instead of trying to fit into the situation or be separate from the situation, you bring your question to the situation and you create a new situation. You are co-creator of life. You're not the created, you see. We create life. We are the question. Be the question. You can't not be the question. If you try to escape the question, you create hypocrisy, where you pretend to be one and not the other, you see. You're fake. You're not authentic. To be authentic, you have to be the question. And the question has no answer because you're the question. And that's why I keep talking about Zen, because Zen is a question. What is it? I don't know. It's a question. Thanks for dropping in.